I wanted to be at Texas State. I chose to be at Texas State. I'm from Texas. That was important to me. I always knew if the right guy got this job, you better watch out.
You better watch out. This is Win Now or Get Bent, episode 161. If you don't already know, I'm Kev Tardello, coming to you on Tuesday, August 13th, and we've got a mailbag. Oh, it's been too long since we've done a mailbag. Got some great questions from y'all. Not the biggest mailbag. I wasn't the most committed on calling for the questions, so I appreciate y'all the ones who did submit some out there. The next time we do a mailbag, we'll do one a little closer to the end of this month, and I'll get out there and really call for one. But shout out to my guy Mason. Yeah, I know he put in a question as well. He was like, "Hey, where's that mailbag that I asked about for like a week ago?" It was a while ago. So we're here. We're doing the mailbag now. We got a few more updates, some awards watch list to talk about. Nice little short episode for you this time. Before we get to those Bobcats, this episode is brought to you by TGC LLC, the GalindoCollective.com. That's GALINDO, GalindoCollective.com, a team of professional consultants dedicated to helping others realize their business potential through people, planning, and practice. Their services cover a wide range of areas such as business strategy, marketing, human resources, and financial planning. If you own property or a business and want to maximize its profitability, contact TGC at thegalindocollective.com and follow their social media platforms on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at TGC_LLC and the Galindo Collective on Instagram and Facebook. Shout out to my guy, Rick Galindo, a true Tech State sicko, a Tech State grad. He's been with us since last year, back again for the 2024 season. Can't thank the Galindo Collective enough. Hit them up for all of your business consulting needs. That's TGC LLC, located at thegalindocollective.com. GALINDO, GalindoCollective.com. We are also brought to you by Chilzey.com, CHILLZEY.com. You can get custom tumblers if you're watching on our YouTube channel, Win Now or Get Bent on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that great stuff. You can see me holding up a Win Now or Get Bent tumbler. It's got our awesome logo on there, the Mad Cat hanging out right there on that tumbler. If you order 6 or more of those tumblers and punch in Bobcats at the checkout, they're only $15 a piece, which is a great deal. And you can get a custom logo, any logo you want on there. It doesn't have to be the Win Now or Get Bent one, but it can be the Win Now or Get Bent one. They also have custom koozies. A lot of you saw these koozies last year. We were handing them out during the season. We'll be back doing that again, thanks to Chilzey. You can order these at their website as well. Custom koozies, any logo that you want on there, a Win Now or Get Bent one. Whatever family insignia you have or a work logo, whatever you got, whatever you want to do, Chilzey's got you. So check them out. CHILLZEY.com. Shout out to my guy over there, Dennis Redding, a true Tech State sicko, a Tech State grad. Can't wait to run into him during this football season. All right. That's it. I'm getting through those ads a lot more efficiently. What do you guys think? Am I almost in season form? We're getting there. August 31st. My goodness, we're under 3 weeks away. Man, I need football around this time every year, but specifically this year, man, oh man, do I just need a solid football season after the chaotic offseason that I've had. I'm jacked up for this episode. This is a fun episode. I always love a good mailbag. Kind of cleared everything out of the way for the mailbag. You know, usually they let us come out to practices on Saturday, but there was a huge rainstorm on Friday night, and it rained pretty good throughout the day on Saturday as well. So they closed media to practice. Seems like they still had it. They were at the stadium doing it. They have a live stream for the turf, and I know our great producer, the Wizard Zachary Webb, he made me aware that you could see the team practicing on the live feed. So, they told us it was canceled, but they kept it going. It's okay. It's fine. I'm sure they got to get to stretch their toes on that new turf. Check all that out. Nice to do that in the privacy without a bunch of cameras and media around. But so long roundabout way of saying I didn't get to go out to practice on Saturday, so I don't really have much more of an update as far as personnel and everything what we were looking at. They did have a press conference last Tuesday. That's when they're going to do them on Tuesdays. And then we do have that presser audio. So look out for that audio version only for you audio heads out there. Check that one out. But yeah, so we're just kind of clearing out the way and making room for the mailbag, some other stuff to update that we'll talk about, starting with the EA Sports update. If you listen to the last episode, episode 160, if you missed it, go check it out. It's awesome. I talked to Sam LaBelle, a Tech State grad, also works at EA Sports, works on the College Football 25 video game that's just taken the world by storm this summer. And he hinted that there would be an update to the specifically the second deck at UFCU Stadium for the Bobcats. It wasn't in the initial release of the game, but they've since put out a patch that fixed a whole bunch of stuff across the game. For the Bobcats specifically, it fixed that, fixed some jerseys. Some other teams got their stadiums updated, their jerseys updated. They changed playbooks. They changed how some of the game modes are, like Dynasty mode and all of these modes, Ultimate Team mode. They did a lot of changes that, and he hinted there was a big change coming. And he even told me off air. He knew it's like it's supposed to come Thursday, but I didn't want to say that on the pod just in case it doesn't happen, what have you. And it happened. It happened on that Thursday, and so we got to see that. So very timely on that interview with Sam LaBelle. Very thankful that he came out and did that with us. Something I've been circling for a few months, wanting to get him on, and we got him on right before that nice update where we got to see the second deck at UFCU Stadium, and it's a fantastic game. Everything I've seen about it. I say that. I say it's a fan. I've played it. I see a lot of videos. You guys post a lot of that. Eventually I'm gonna get over to the Wizards house and play some college football 25. And maybe we'll stream it. Maybe we'll do something like that. Oh, man, that's a bad idea because I'm not great at video games. It's been a minute. Been a minute since I've played some. But yeah, very cool, very timely for that EA Sports interview and college football 25 doing that awesome update that helped out the Bobcats. So it's awards watch list season. We are heading into the 2024 football season kicking off, and in fall, we say fall, but it's still summer. We call it fall camp because it's the camp leading into the fall semester. But in August is that time where we get those watch lists. We get to see where some of these awards that are handed out for the nation's best, whatever position, or even some comeback player of the year for Lincoln Perry. Um, so they put out these watch lists, and Jordan McLeod, he made the Davey O'Brien watch list, which had 36 quarterbacks on it. He was one of them. He was on there. Three quarterbacks from the Sun Belt made that list. I thought it was interesting that TJ Finley also on that one. So back to the last two Texas State quarterbacks on the Davey O'Brien watch list this year. Joey Hobart made the Bolitnikoff Award watch list for best receiver in the nation. Shout out to my Raider fans out there. Fred Bolitnikoff, legend. Shout out to my dad if you're hearing that. I know you like Fred Bolitnikoff. Good stuff for Joey Hobart. Ben Bell is on the Bednarik Award watch list. He's getting a lot more recognition, and it's interesting that's surprising to a lot of people. I know at College Football Network where I work, we put out a All-American, like a preseason All-American watch list, basically like players who have the potential to make those, and we had him as a third team All-American. Not just that he's a first team Sun Belt on most people's lists. Ben Bell, first round pick next year. Calling it. Watch out for that. I mean, at fall camp, he looks bigger than he was, which is crazy. He was already really big. He's grown his profile. He's gotten stronger. The hair's coming back. I'm all in there. It's got the nice red flow poking out the helmet. How can you not be down for that? I mentioned a little bit, but Lincoln Perry's up for comeback player of the year. If you remember, he led the Bobcats in rushing in 2022. Had a great season after Calvin Hill went down. Calvin Hill had an awesome first four games that year, and Lincoln Perry finished it off. And then he tore his ACL and didn't play at all last year, but he stuck around even through a coaching change, through an injury, and he's back out there. We talked about him quite a bit on the pods that recently. Number 7 out there at running back. It's great to see him out there. He's a great ambassador for Texas State. So it's good to see him cooking. But there you go. Some awards watch list there. Always nice to see that for the Bobcats. A lot of them on there. But let's get to these questions. We got a lot of good questions on here. And we'll start at the top. Let's just start right at the top. My guy Miguel Luna. What's up, Miguel Luna? At the Lunar Cowboy on Twitter. How many home games you feeling going to be close or at full capacity? Okay, attendance wise. Okay. Let's see. The home games, first 3 are at home. You got Lamar, UTSA, Arizona State. And then obviously Sam Houston State. That doesn't count. That was in Houston. And then it's week 6, Arkansas State, excuse me. Week 8, Louisiana. Week 10, Southern Miss. And week 11, Georgia State. Full capacity or a sold out crowd. I'd love to see it for Lamar right off the bat because that's when they're going to have the bowl celebration. If some of you are wondering if you want to come out to that game, or it seems like a ho hum opponent, they are going to have the bowl win celebration that game, August 31st against Lamar. But that being said, I don't anticipate that being full capacity. It would be awesome, and that would be a great indicator of what the crowds are going to be like for the rest of the year. But I don't foresee that one being one. UTSA the following week, absolutely book it. That's going to be packed to the gills. If there's one game on the schedule, one home game, they have 7 home games. If there's one that is going to be at capacity, it is UTSA. Arizona State could be up there too. Hosting a P4 team, I don't know if that's been. I hope I've talked about how great that is enough. It's pretty impressive to get a P4 to travel to your stadium. I mean, I was thinking about it the last time saw that. I know there was a 2 away and 1 home deal with Texas Tech back in 2013. There had to have been one since then. But it's pretty rare. So that's going to be cool. I would imagine a pretty big crowd for that. I don't imagine at capacity. But hey, if they win those first 3, then you're going into the rest of the year, you could see it getting pretty close the rest of the year at capacity. But then after that, you have Arkansas State, Louisiana, Southern Miss, Georgia State. I don't see Southern Miss, Georgia State being at capacity. For me, it should be Arkansas State and Louisiana at capacity, just because yeah, I think that Arkansas State rivalry needs to brew more. I think that one would be, especially after they put 77 on the Bobcats last year. That one needs to be looked at. And Louisiana has a 10-game winning streak, 10-0 versus the Bobcats, all since 2013. So that would be nice to get that one. But honestly, I would say just those 2, UTSA, Arizona State. I think if the Bobcats really, really show something in after non-conference, then you're going to see much bigger crowds. But I don't know if they'll get at capacity. I'd love to see it. Maybe it's there. Maybe I'm underestimating them. That's what I would like to see. But yeah, that's how I have a good feeling that's what it's going to shake out. Appreciate you, Miguel. Next up, we got Mason Flores, who called for the mailbag. Appreciate you. Reminded me on the mailbags at Big May 75 on Twitter. He said GJ hinted at it a little bit at media days, calling the Arkansas State game a big game. Is this the year the rivalry gets off the ground? I haven't forgotten about the onside kick last year when they were up big. Yeah, yeah. I kind of forgot about that last part till you said it. That was timely. That was timely to read that one just as we were talking about Arkansas State. So Arkansas State and Texas State are the 2 teams in the Sun Belt that are alone in their states. I know it's made other people who cover the Sun Belt mad whenever I've said Texas State's on an island being in Texas, and they kind of are. They kind of are. They're the furthest west in the conference. And so there's not really any of that in-state, in-conference rivalry for either of those schools. So why not make them against each other? There's states that border each other. They've been pretty competitive. In fact, while I talk, I'm going to look up what is the all-time record Sorry for the typing. The all-time record between the two schools in football. Yeah, see, it's 4-7 in favor of Arkansas State. They won the last one, 77-31. Shout out to Winsipedia. Do you guys know that one? Winsipedia is the best. Yeah, the Bobcats had a 3-game winning streak before that 77-point outburst. But then before that, Arkansas State had a 5 years, 5 straight years they won against the Bobcats, and they split the first two in 2013, 2014. So yeah, I think this should be a big game, and it's definitely why GJ Kinney says it's a big game. I mean, he's not going to forget putting 77, having 77 put on him, especially after they did that to a team earlier that year. They put up 77. It was a big deal, and then they had it done to them. I imagine that stings. That's something he still thinks about. He wants to be the guy putting up 77, not having it put on him. But I hope it is. I hope it's the year that rivalry takes off. And I don't want to ever force a rivalry. I feel like I keep doing it. It's getting that Arkansas State hate alive. But it needs to get it cooking. Needs some good Sun Belt rivalry. There's not a whole lot of it. If there is, it's like because Louisiana's beaten the Bobcats all 10 times. But there isn't that almost natural rival. And I feel like Arkansas State should fall right into that. But good stuff, Mason. Appreciate you on that one. This one's from our guy Alonzo at Runner XC8. I love it. He's athletic, not a road runner. We've gotten to the bottom of that, right? How's the family? Good summer? Oh, family's great. Family's awesome. It's been loads of chaos, but awesome chaos, fun chaos. Lots of babies crying and everything. We're starting to get to a good groove. Everybody's settling. I say that and something will pop up, but it's been very joyous and sleep deprived. My wife is in great spirits. My daughter is growing like crazy. Walked around Texas State campus the other day, going up and down the Alkex stairs. She loves it. Pretty sure I got the commitment there on that recruiting trip. And yeah, things have been awesome. Madden's doing great. My son, when he was born in April, and he's coming along more and more. He's holding that head up like a champ. You can tell he wants to crawl. He's not there yet. 4 months, but he's got the movements down, just not the strength. He'll get there. A little more training. We're working on it. Holding him up on his feet, trying to get him that walking motion down. But yeah, no, things have been great. It's been a nice rainy summer too, which is always nice. Especially for going out in the backyard and playing with little kids. It's nice that it's a little cooler sometimes. Fill up that river a little more. We all like that. No, it's been an awesome summer, Alonzo. I appreciate it. I feel like I've neglected the pod a lot this summer and in the spring, since my son's been born. But I've been itching to get back and get to this consistently. Really, really hammer it in with the season coming along. But we're doing awesome, Alonzo. I hope the same for you. I hope the same for all of you, all your families. Hope you all had an awesome summer. But let's lock back in on fall. All right. Thanks again, Alonzo. That was a nice question. This one's from Derek Rodriguez at Derek DERRICH at the end of Derek right there. What's your grip strength, Kev? My grip strength, I don't know. Average? What's the answer there? Is this an Olympic question? I don't, I mean, I would say average. I'd say average. I have hold on, I actually have it in reaching distance. Here you go, Derek. If you're watching on YouTube, if not, get on there and subscribe. We need more subscribers. Check it out. There you go. You can hear it on audio too. I have a grip thing. Hey, look at that. I'd say it's average. See, this is the black one, which means it's tougher. Tough guy over here with my black grip strength. Look at that. All right, that's probably terrible audio, but there you go. I don't know. Average. That question's a little over my head. Or maybe I missed something there. Shout out to you, Derek. Appreciate the question. This one's from Logan at Logan Beast 23. What's up, Logan? My guy, Logan. The over under for wins this year is 8.5. How we feeling? Over. Over. Hammer the over. I like the over there. I like the over. I think 9 wins is a bad season. Should we do it? Should we just go through and yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk about how I'm feeling for the schedule. Should I pull up a schedule? Do I have a schedule right here? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it. Uh we'll pull this up. I'm gonna say 10-2 on the season. I've been thinking about it. At some point I gotta say it and reveal it. So there you go. We'll reveal it here. I'm saying 10-2. I've said double digit wins before. I do think this team has the capability of going 12-0, especially with this strength of schedule. Not very strong. In fact, it is the fifth easiest in the nation, according to College Football Network strength of schedule metric. There you go. Another plug for the employer there. Fifth easiest of 134 FBS teams. So I'm gonna say 10-2. With tentatively saying that they could win more. Now their two losses, they're going to be a little shocking, I guess. I do want to pull up like a full schedule. We got one here. Is this? Oh, this is 23. I got 24 right here. I'm going to say 10-2. I think they're going to rock in non-conference. I think you're going to see Lamar. I think that's going to be a great game for the Bobcats. They're going to be at home celebrating the bowl game. That's going to be a win. I think UTSA, they're going to get that monkey off their back finally. It's going to be 5-1. The one in favor of the Bobcats because right now they're 0-5. It's gotta come to a head at some point, right? Pendulum's gotta swing back for the Bobcats. This year feels as good as it's ever felt going into this game last year. But again, last year felt as good as it ever had. Frank Harris. He went down twice and came back. He should have been out of the game. That guy, tough as nails. Frank Harris, 20-13. But I think the Bobcats will get some revenge and they'll get their first win in the I-35 rivalry. They will beat the UTSA Roadrunners. Following week, Arizona State. That's going to be a tough one. It's a Thursday night game. It's a P4 team. I think there's going to be a lot of momentum on the Bobcats side, though. I think that they're not afraid of the whole P4 moniker after last season, after what they were able to do against Baylor, and they'll get another win there. So that's not where I'm seeing one of the two wins. And then they're going to go to Houston, and they're going to play Sam Houston in a neutral site at NRG Stadium. I think that's another win. They're going to get another win there. That one's not, you know, Sam Houston's they're having a bit of a time transitioning to FBS. Um, you know, Shout out to Casey Keeler, the coach there. He's trying. So at this point, Bobcats are 4-0. They're going to play that game against Sam Houston. It's going to be on a Saturday, and they're going to have a quick turnaround, and they're going to play Troy on Thursday, and that's where I see their first loss of the season is against Troy. Now, Troy, this is a team that beat the Bobcats on homecoming last year. They've lost their coach. There's some extenuating circumstances like that. But this is going to be the first true road game. After being 4-0, it's going to be a little bit of a hangover, followed by some humbling by Troy. We'll see. We'll see. But then Arkansas State back in San Marcos. Arkansas State the next week. Bobcats will avenge that 77-point game from last year. But I think that'll be a good game. Jalen Raynor, quarterback at Arkansas State. I do like Arkansas State. So I say that one's a win. That's going to be a tough one, no doubt. Old Dominion, they go on the road. They get their first true road win against Old Dominion. I'm not going to count the NRG Houston. Well, that's a road game. That's traveling. But this is the first true road game. You're getting on a plane. You're going to Norfolk, Virginia. And then we're gonna have a Tuesday game against Louisiana. A little craziness, but it's gonna be 10 days off from Old Dominion to Louisiana game. Bobcats are gonna be playing at home. As I said before, Louisiana is 10-0 against the Bobcats. It'll be 10-1 after this Tuesday game. I think the Bobcats are gonna beat the Raging Cajuns, and they're gonna get some more revenge. It's gonna be a season of avenging the past. That's what it's gonna be, a lot of that this year, exercising a lot of those demons cleaning out the skeletons in the closet. You got it. Enough metaphors. You got it. All right, great. Let's keep going. ULM on the road, tough road haul to Monroe, Louisiana. Not tough because of the crowd, tough because you got to be in Monroe, Louisiana. That's the tough part. They're not very good though. So Bobcats are going to roll them over. We'll keep it pushing. Got Southern Miss homecoming, SWT throwbacks. Have we seen them winning those? The throwbacks? I'm not sure. I can't think of a time. I know when my daughter was born homecoming week in 2022 because I missed that game. It was a huge disappointment. I was sitting at home watching them in the great Southwest Texas throwbacks, and they lost. And they lost to Troy last year. So they'll get this win. Southern Miss. Next one after that, back home, still at home, Georgia State, another win. I think Georgia State's a little bit down this year. And then this is where I have the second loss is at the very end of the year. It's on a Friday. It's against South Alabama. Now, Bobcats beat South Alabama last year. Did I put that score anywhere? 52-44. Yeah, I'm glad I put that score down because I remember that was a really, really good game. That was a fun game. Now the wins and losses. Shout out to Winsipedia once again. Second shout out for Winsipedia on the pod. Has the Bobcats are up 5-4 all time against South Alabama, and they have alternated every single year since 2013. It's been Bobcats, Jags, Bobcats, Jags, Bobcats, Jags, Bobcats, Jags, Bobcats. I think it's going to be Jags again this year, just because it's a funky matchup. It's South Alabama again. They can score. I know that they've lost their quarterback, Carter Bradley. They've lost him. And so it's a little bit of a transition year for them. They still got Major Applewhite. They still have some weapons. And I think it's just going to be, especially at that time of the year, if they've only have one loss, I think the Bobcats will have secured their spot in the championship game, Sun Belt championship game, maybe even by that securing the West Division in the Sun Belt. So yeah, I think both the losses are going to come in the state of Alabama at the very first game of conference to Troy and the very last one to South Alabama. I think there's going to be a lot of winning in between that. If you're at 7-0 at home, that I have them at, which would be incredible. And then 8-0 in the state of Texas, which is even more incredible. But that's where I have them. 10-2. That's what I'm thinking this season's going to shake out to be. I think I don't want to say easily because 12-0 isn't easy. And that's kind of why as high as I am on this team, I go through each position and I don't see a true weakness at a position or somewhere on the field for this team. But going undefeated is incredibly hard, incredibly hard. There's a lot of good teams in the Sun Belt, and I just it's a tall ask to go undefeated. But if they do it, this is the team that could do it if they do it. But it's gonna be a great year for the Bobcats. Who knows? Maybe I'll be wrong on the Alabama roundup. But good stuff. Good stuff, Logan. It's a really long answer for your question, just because I went into the whole schedule, but got to do it. This one's from GJ the Recruiter at K Damp Train. Wow, wow, I'm digging it. The whole identity. Shout out to GJ the Recruiter, not the real GJ. This guy. Shout out to GJ the Recruiter as well. Do we have a liability this year on either side of the ball? I feel like this is the best Texas State team in history. History is that's a big one. That's a big one to say. I'll have to reserve my judgment there, but right off the bat, I'm gonna have to say no, because of the national championship teams. That '05 team was incredible. Obviously it could be better than '08, and then maybe better than last year as well. Those have been some of the more recent good teams that have been here. 2014 was a really good team. Dang, that 2013, 2014 team. Tyler Jones at quarterback, Michael Rackbo at linebacker. They had studs all over the field in that era. I think it has the chance to be, depending on how this season shakes out. A liability though, I wouldn't call any of it a true liability. But maybe the safety position isn't the deepest. We've talked about this before. They still are dealing with some injuries there. Some guys coming back from injury, like Darius Jackson, who missed all of last year. Torrey Spears is still coming back from injury. So that safety position isn't as shored up as we'd love it to be. And punter, you're going to have a new punter. So that'll be a little bit of could be a liability. We'll find out with Mr. Nunez, David Nunez. Talked about him on the last episode. But no, I wouldn't say a true liability. I'm not the. Well, it'll reveal if there is one. It'll reveal itself within the first couple weeks. Even against an opponent like Lamar, if it could be a lopsided game in favor of the Bobcats, you can still see the weaknesses. So we'll be able to tell a lot after August 31st. But what I can tell right now, nothing that I am overly concerned about at this time. How about what happened to the signees that did not show up for fall camp? Too deep? Oh, and this is from Jay Simmons. Sorry, Jay. Jay Simmons at Jay Simmons 0722 on Twitter. Players that didn't show up. I'm glad you actually brought that one up. Derek Osman, the tight end from Oklahoma, didn't make it. I'm hearing he's JUCO. Don't know what's going on with that situation. And same with Frederick Doty. Don't know what's going on with his situation, but he didn't make it. There's two of the high school signees that didn't make it. Doty is safety, Osman a tight end. But Osman is JUCO. Usually that's a grade situation. They didn't qualify for the scholarship that was offered to them, so they have to go to junior college for a couple years, get an associate's degree, get their GPA up, and then they can transfer into a 4-year college. So I imagine that's what's going on there. But other signees that didn't show up, JUCO player Isaiah Walker, big offensive lineman. And see, this one actually clocked in my head when I was talking last week about Alex Harkey getting in there at that right tackle spot. And the Colorado transfer, he didn't play a whole lot last year. How that was a little surprising. And I remember after the pod, I was like, why is that? Why would that be surprising? And then I remember Isaiah Walker. That was somebody who I was thinking, oh, that's probably going to be their tackle. He's a pretty highly coveted recruit, but he signed, came in the spring, and he's already gone. He's at Akron. That one slipped past me. Maybe I think I've talked about it this summer, but Isaiah Walker, he's gone. And then Martin Tyne, he's the Cal offensive lineman. So two offensive linemen. He's not on the roster. So not sure what happened with Tyne or Walker there, but there you go. A two deep. We kind of did that on the last episode. I still have those notes though. Let's do it really quick, really, really fast. I've already gone over 30 minutes. This is supposed to be a lot quicker. Sorry to the wizard, Zachary Webb. Quarterback, McLeod, Martinez. Running back, Monty Perry. Wide receiver, the first starting four, Hobart Wilson, Jaden Williams, Chris Don. Second four, I have Bo Sparks, Langston Anderson, Jalen Griffin, Kylan Evans, although that can very change. Kylan Evans, true freshman. That's just a name I had typed right there, but there's a caveat of or a plethora of players that could be at that last little spot. Tight end, Connor Fox, Griffin Moore, Illinois transfer, Griffin Moore. Uh, Offensive line, I didn't get to go to practice on Saturday, so I didn't get that second unit like I was telling you about. I still have the first, so we'll do that. Left tackle, Mash Jones. Left guard, Dorian Strawn. Center, Chase Todd. Right guard, Talik Lockett. Right tackle, Alex Harkey. Average size of that starting unit, 6'4.5", 315 pounds. More on that last episode if you missed it. D ends, got Ben Belt, Stephen Parker as your starters. I imagine you'd have a variation of Devin Wright, Khalil Alexander, Toon Meese, Adelaide, Jalazen Landry, Bice Bass, Jeremy Jackson, Tymir Jackson. Behind them, they have a lot of defensive ends, a lot of defensive tackles. Tavian Coleman, Terry Webb. Those are your likely starters. Amapolisi Langy, Alex Merritt. Lots of good players on the inside there. Linebacker, Max Harris, James Neal, Kenny Haynes, Manny Nunnery. Those are the four they were really, really mixing in there. Derek Morning, give him a shout out as well. Corner, when I was out there, it was Chris Mills and Dante Thompson. It seems like from talking to GJ Kinney last week, Chris Mills and Josh Eaton, who we expected likely to be those starters, but Dante Thompson and Trez Moore, the UTEP transfer, have been impressive there at corner and worked their way up the rotation. Star position was that nickel position, the DB linebacker hybrid spot. AJ Edwards, number one guy there. Caleb Coleman, likely the next one to come out. Safety, Caleb Colt, Bobby Crosby. Those look like the two starters, two guys who returned from last season. And then behind them, it'll probably be like Darius Jackson, Justin Harris, who's a Cincy transfer. Looked like he may have played corner, but he's going to play safety for the Bobcats. And then I imagine Torrey Spears when he's healthy. We'll get into that rotation as well. Kicker, Mason Shipley. Punter, David Nunez. Boom. Okay, I was trying to do that quick. Sorry if that was hard to keep up with Jay Simmons. It looks like you asked this before the last episode, so I'm sure a lot of that too deep question was answered then. But good stuff. Good question there. Two more questions. We'll wrap this up. What are the chances of Cats by 90 against Lamar? I love it. This is from Certified Bobcat at Derek De La Cruz 08. I love that, Mr. Certified Bobcat. Cats by 90. I think if there is one game on the docket that has the makings of a big time blowout for Texas State, it is Lamar. Cats by 90 is 90 points is a lot. We have a lot of fun with that. If some of you don't know what that is, I don't know how long that's been a saying. It's been a saying since I first got to Texas State. I remember that '08 team that was really good. It was first year I was in San Marcos. I was covering the Bobcats for the University Star, and you'd hear it then. Don't know when it started, where it started, who started it. Seems like something a frat guy started at some point. But Cats by 90, that is a tall ask, but that Lamar team, they're not very good. So if there is a chance for blood, it's then. I mean, they'd really have to keep the starters in well past when they should. Maybe do an onside kick late when you're up by 50. They'd have to do a lot to win the game by 90. It would definitely put the college football world on notice, though. Might be a good idea. And the last one's a real simple one. This is from at MoffProf02. Shout out to MoffProf. How are special teams? They're good. They're special, actually. Lou Gozer Award finalist. Oh, I'm sorry, watch list for our guy Mason Shipley. He was a semifinalist last year. So from a kicking standpoint, it's good. Not sure about punting. Need to see some guys. Lars Rao is a transfer that came in at punter as well. So it may not be set on it being David Nunez. I really got to get my eyes on those punters, huh? We got to get to the bottom of this punter controversy that we have brewing in San Marcos. But yeah, I'll go check out Lars pretty soon. But aside from that, when the kick return game, it's something that I asked. I was asking some of the players at the press conference. You can hear on the presser pod on the audio. Who's do you guys have the best return duo in the nation? A lot of them think so. Between Ish Mahdi and Cole Wilson, both of them took one back last year. So special teams from that aspect is fantastic on returning. Don't know who the punt returner is going to be. That'll be interesting to see. I immediately nominate Bo Sparks right off the bat. He seems real shifty. Seems like a punt return type player. But yeah, pretty good. Is that a good answer? Not sure, Moff Prof. Tell you what, next time they let me at practice, I'm gonna be like, I don't need to see quarterbacks. I don't need 11 on 11. Point me to the special teams field, and we're gonna look at the punting game. We're gonna get to the bottom of it, okay? Just for you, Moff Prof, and just for you, true sickos that need answers, that demand answers. That's why you come here. All right. Well, it's already longer than I anticipated, so let's wrap it up. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/win-now-or-get-bent. WNOGB.com. Check out our merch. I'm wearing the the Sicko shirt, the Texos shirt. Maybe we need to make a Texos shirt, but we don't have it yet. We have a Sicko shirt, Texas Sicko shirt, Texas State Sickos. YouTube channel, Win Now or Get Bent. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Twitter at Win Now or Get Bent. Instagram at WNOGB. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff on all our channels. Check them all out. Thank you to TGC. Thank you to Chilsey. Thank you to our future sponsors, which we will start unveiling here coming up. Thank you to the Wizard, our great producer, Zachary Webb, always making this pod look and sound fantastic. And of course, you sickos, thank you. Thank you for always tuning into us. and keeping this whole thing afloat. I really appreciate y'all. But all right, everybody, win now or get bent.